From Neural Newscast, this is Deep Dive, exploring the moments that shape today.
I'm Oliver Grant, and you are listening to Deep Dive. Today is June 23rd, 2026, a date that anchors some of the most significant institutional and intellectual foundations of our modern world.
I'm Thatcher Collins. We're starting way back in the year 930 on the windswept plains of Iceland. This is the moment the Althing, or Althingi, was established. It is recognized as the world's oldest surviving parliament, a truly remarkable milestone in human governance.
It's a fascinating case of systemic resilience, Thatcher. They held these sessions at Þingvellir, an open-air assembly where the law speaker would recite the laws from a rock outcrop called the Logberg. What strikes me is how the system was designed to resolve disputes and manage a society without a central monarch. Yet it eventually faced the same drift toward external control we see in many early democracies. It was a radical attempt at collective law before the concept of a nation-state even existed.
Exactly. And that transition from an oral tradition to a written legislative body over many centuries is what allowed it to survive, even through long periods of Norwegian and Danish rule. It's an incredibly durable framework for governance that outlasted empires.
Stability often comes at the cost of the individual. Which brings us to a birthday that hits close to home for anyone studying complex systems. Born on this day in 1912, Alan Turing. Turing is essentially the father of modern computer science and artificial intelligence. His work on the universal Turing machine gave us the theoretical framework for the digital world we inhabit today. During World War II, his efforts at Bletchley Park cracking the Enigma code were vital to the Allied victory, potentially shortening the war by years.
And yet, Thatcher, look at the divergence between his contribution and how the state treated him. Here was a man who defined the very logic of our age, only to be crushed by the institutional pressures and discriminatory laws of his time. It's a sobering reminder that systems often fail the very people who sustain them.
His legacy has certainly been reclaimed in the digital era, but the human cost remains a permanent part of that story. Moving into the world of contemporary culture, we also have two other major birthdays today. First, there's Frances McDormand, born in 1957. McDormand is a powerhouse, with 3 Academy Awards for Best Actress, for Fargo, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and Nomadland. She has this unique ability to portray characters who are navigating failing systems or harsh realities with a very specific, grounded dignity. She represents the grit within the system. And born in 1972, we have the legendary French footballer Zinedine Zidane. Known as Zizou, he dominated the pitch for France and Real Madrid, leading his country to a World Cup victory in 1998 before transitioning into a highly successful managerial role. Zidane is interesting because he represents that rare shift from the technical execution of a player to the strategic oversight of a manager. In the world of sports, that kind of consistent excellence across different roles in the hierarchy is rare, Thatcher. He understood the mechanics of the game from the inside out. Speaking of sports hierarchies, that brings us to our fact of the day. On June 23rd, 1894, the International Olympic Committee, or IOC, was founded at the Sorbonne in Paris. This was the initiative of Baron Pierre de Coubertin. He wanted to revive the ancient Greek tradition to foster international peace. But it's worth noting, Thatcher, how the IOC grew from a small committee into this massive, multi-billion-dollar global entity. The original intent was to promote amateurism and unity through competition. That meeting in Paris led directly to the first modern games in Athens in 1896. Coubertin's vision was about international cooperation, and despite the geopolitical complexities that have shadowed the games ever since, the IOC remains the governing authority of the movement. It's another example of how an idea from the 19th century can scale into a global system that defines how we interact across borders. From the ancient roots of the Althing to Turing's logic to the global framework of the IOC, June 23rd is really about the blueprints we use to build our world.
It certainly is. A day where legacy and structure meet. I'm Thatcher Collins.
And I am Oliver Grant. This has been Deep Dive. You can find more historical narratives and deep dives at deepdive.neuralnewscast.com. Deep Dive is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. Explore history every day on Neural Newscast. Join us next time.
This has been Deep Dive on Neural Newscast, exploring the moments that shape today.